What it do, snackers and snackettes? It's your boy Gage here. This is Snacking and Hanging, the Loaded Snacks Podcast, episode 40.
40.
40.
Sweet.
Yeah. Got the usual suspects in the building. Sin, speak to the people.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's popping?
And new Joker.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Hey, man. A lot is going on, actually, this week. This week has been probably one of the most newsworthy weeks we've had in terms of geek culture in a long time. Like, I feel like what happened this week was like E3 and New York Comic Con all balled into one bundle of joy.
Week.
Yeah.
This was a great week.
Yeah, a lot happened. So today we are most definitely going to talk about Red Dead 3. We're going to talk a little bit about Logan. And we're probably mostly going to talk about Nintendo Switch. The Switch. There were other things that happened. Those are the three main things we're going to get to, though. Guys, seriously, where do you want to start? Like, do you want to start at Nintendo? Would you rather start at Red Dead?
No. I want to save Nintendo for that. Let's start with Red Dead.
Let's start with Red Dead?
Start with Red Dead, yeah. Let's go Red Dead.
Okay, so let's start with Red Dead 3. Okay, so we got a trailer this week. Actually, what started out as just a tweet from Rockstar, okay? Which literally was just their logo in black on a red background. And the freaking Twitterverse went ape.
Oh yeah.
They followed that like the next day with another tweet that was like the logo, and then it did say it, and it had like 7 silhouettes like on the bottom of the screen. So, of course, once again, went bananas, okay?
Oh, blew up.
Yeah, went absolutely bananas. So, we're going to talk about something, and listen, new Joker, don't text me. I know what I'm talking about. This is Red Dead 3. Now, it is Red Dead Redemption 2, but it is the third Red Dead game, okay?
You know, it was funny when you text us, you'd be like, yeah, this week's been a good week. And you said Red 3. For like half a second, I was like, huh? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. It is technically.
Yeah. This is the third Red Dead. I mean, it was Red Dead Revolver, then Red Dead Redemption, and now we're getting Red Dead Redemption 2. So they did say, hey, we're putting out a trailer on Thursday, blah, 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 and they did. Okay? So, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the actual name. And I'll be honest, I'm one of those people who was like, what are they going to call this one? Red Dead Revolution? Is it going to be Red Dead Renegades? Is it, you know what I mean? Just give me that double alliteration, whatever. So I was kind of surprised that it was actually,
just Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, Redemption 2. But yeah, so, and technically, just to kind of get it out there before people tweet at me or whatever, I know that Rockstar did not make the original Red Dead game, but they took over the property. So yes, this is technically the third game in the series. Okay, now that that's out of the way, what did you guys think of the trailer?
I mean, just from like, of course, it was definitely more of a teaser, but just from the little bit that we saw, it looked pretty good. Even though we only got to see a little bit of it, it looked pretty good. I mean, visually wise, I guess let's say it that way right now. It looked really good.
It was. I'm gonna say it was beautiful. It was beautiful. That's what Sin.
It was a teaser. That's the definition of a teaser trailer. Not when we get other movie trailers like, hey, here's the teaser, and it'd be a full blown teaser with story plots and all that kind of stuff. It was a teaser that shows you beautiful backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? Some people standing around doing nothing. Like, just it was a teaser, good teaser, because it made me want to see a real trailer.
I mean, it did what I think a good trailer should do, which is like it showed you the environment.
You want to know more. Right. It shows you a little bit of the environment, makes you want to know more. It looks like the same environment from part 1, like open wilderness, but I'm excited for Red Dead Redemption 3. Like, give me a little bit of story. Let me know what this multiplayer world's gonna be about. Because I enjoyed the multiplayer in the last one, Red Dead Redemption. That was fun. Right around with your
I never got
posse.
into the multiplayer in that, but
Well,
I
for what
get
we
it.
played, it was fun. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like seven or eight or so of your buddies, y'all riding around shooting up people, wreaking havoc. You know, it was fun. It wasn't Grand Theft Auto, but of course,
But
who
now the
knows
Grand
whether.
Theft Auto Online is
Yeah,
what it is.
Pretty much.
yeah.
What do you think the significance is? So in the trailer, like, yeah, they show you like all these kind of vistas. You get to see like these open plains, and you see like literally like steam trains going by with like all these buffalo running around, and like you see like lush forests, and like it looks like, I don't know, some kind of an animal chasing another animal down. Like there might be some kind of an actual animal hierarchy. Um, and it's at the end of the trailer, you know, after you see like the city, I guess it's the city, the town or whatever, and it's like muddy, and there's like vultures eating something, and there's just a dude just kind of leaning watching it happen, but there's like a dog in the street that's all nasty and scruffy and muddy, like, you know, watching the vultures. I mean, there's a lot that technically is happening in terms of like this giving you an idea of what the quote unquote living world of Red Dead Redemption 2 is gonna be like. And then they show like these 7 folks on horseback. Can't say specifically whether they're males or females. Most of them look like males. There could be a female in there. Looks like there might even be a Native American in there riding with them, possibly. And in the trailer, he's saying something to the effect of when it hits the fan, like, you got to get out. And then he says, this is over, you know, at the end. So again, they call it Red Dead Redemption 2, which makes you think maybe this is actually a sequel, but we're not sure when or where this takes place. It could be a completely different story if they are going by the rules of, let's say, Grand Theft. So with Grand Theft Auto 3, they put out two other games that I would say fell in line. They put out San Andreas and Vice City, not in that order, before they hit Grand Theft Auto 4. But all of those games take place in a different time, you know what I mean, in a different city, and none of them technically have to do with each other. Yes, the characters exist within the same world.
I did like that with that. Like the fact that it's all the same universe.
Yeah.
With different time zones, a new story, all that kind of stuff. Like, I thought that was cool.
Right. You know, like in Vice City, you go back to the 80s, but Tommy Vercetti from Grand Theft Auto 3 is still a character. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're still, yes, they exist in the same universe. Still, the story was given a title like it's a sequel, but didn't necessarily have anything to do with them by the time they got to 4, and you're dealing with like Nico, and you're back in Liberty City. It doesn't really have anything to do with Tommy. You know what I'm saying? And when you get 5, same thing. Now you're back, you know, San Andreas and what have you. But these characters don't really have anything to do with the characters that you've seen before. So just because it's called Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't mean it literally has anything to do with John Marsden, who was the main character in Red Dead Redemption. So I don't know. I'm very interested, but it is, again, it's just a teaser. And the game is slated to hit in fall of next year. Fall of 2017. What do you guys think the chances are that they hit that target date?
I think they're gonna hit it. Fall of next year. Yeah, they're just saying fall. They're not giving a hard date or even a hard month. They're just saying somewhere in the fall it's gonna drop. And you know, Rockstar is very quiet mouth. Like, they've been dropping constant stuff for Grand Theft, keeping everybody focused on that. Some people have been asking, you know, speculating about a new Red Dead coming out, but for the most part, they've been quiet. I think they've been working real hard behind the scenes on this.
Yeah.
I think
for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. I think it's a good chance it will hit in fall of next year.
I could agree with that. I mean, I think the only time they've ever missed a release date, I think Grand Theft Auto 4 was supposed to hit in like October or September, and they pushed it back to like April. But I think that's the only time that's happened. I think everything else is pretty much it, with the exception of the fact that, like, when 5 came out, they pushed Grand Theft Auto Online back a few times before that hit. But you know, I think it's good. I do actually kind of want to ask a question about this because something that this game made me think about. You know, this is technically the first Rockstar game that's going to come out on this generation's hardware. So Grand Theft Auto 5 is there, but that game was built on last generation's hardware, 360 PS3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is really the first Rockstar game that's coming out that's built on this, you know, this generation's hardware. And
now I may not know this. You might know this, B. Have they said that it's not going to come out on the other systems?
Yeah, they have. It has been announced just for Xbox One and for PlayStation 4. That's it.
Perfect. Okay.
No PC announcement, which it could come a year later. Nothing else. Maybe the Switch, if But again, we got that announcement technically the same day. So that still remains.
Okay, so this is straight PS4, Xbox One. That's what it is.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. No back.
That's
got it. Okay.
That's it. But also they did announce that PlayStation 4, Sony does have a marketing deal with them. So it looks like DLC and things like that are going to hit first on PlayStation 4.
Well, from what I saw from PS4, they said the multiplayer stuff.
Right.
Some multiplayer stuff you'll get first on PS4.
Right. So it makes me wonder. Obviously, I would assume that this is something that is going to be poised to take advantage, obviously, of the PS4 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
But with this game coming out in the fall, how do you think it's going to affect the Scorpio? Now, here's why I say that. If you have to think about Xbox releasing the Scorpio next year, supposed to hit next fall, right? So end of next year. What game is the game that Microsoft aligns with this console release? Like, what's the game you use to show this off? I mean, in other words, right now it's Gears 4, right? Like Gears 4 is the big thing. You got Xbox One S. It's coming out with a bundle. They got the Gears 4 special edition. They're showing off the 4K that it can do, HDR, stuff like that with it. They've done the same thing with Forza, what have you. Obviously, when Scorpio comes out, we know there's going to be Forza Motorsport 7 because they do that every other year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would definitely be a Forza year. But those games don't really sell systems, so to speak.
Right.
So, and we know it's not going to be Halo, right? Because it's definitely not time for another Halo yet. You know what I mean? We just got Halo like last year.
Could be a surprise.
So, it could be. And
maybe a
my
spin-off.
thought process, my thought process is that maybe, just maybe, what's the joint with the agents? You run around jumping and collecting all the orbs. Crackdown. Could be Crackdown 3. Because that game has gone dark. And they were supposed to have an open beta this summer. So that could be the
Crackdown 3. I put one bid and a half for that being a Scorpio release joint to put with it. Yeah, I put Crackdown in it. It's a Microsoft joint. And like you said, we haven't seen or heard anything from them since the
E3 last
year. Yeah, since the little CG joint they gave us.
Yeah. So it just makes me wonder, like with Grand Theft coming out, probably right around the same time as this, if Microsoft is going to try to make some moves, maybe to try to align. I mean, obviously, PS4 is going to get some stuff first. But, that stuff could change when, if you got a deal in place, you got a deal in place. But having something like Grand Theft could be the kind of thing where you get it. When you see the Scorpio comes out with the kind of specs they have, people might be like, nah, I need this joint, you know what I'm saying, on the Scorpio. Like, especially if they're able to do things like mods, like you can do on the PC. If there's any of that kind of stuff, like you see with Fallout, like it just kind of could change the landscape. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Anything else you guys want to say about Red Dead?
No.
I think it's good to say that we're all excited for it, but of course we want to know a little bit more because that really was a teaser.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all excited. I think it's fair to say we all enjoyed the last one.
Yep.
So highly excited for this new one coming out fall of next year.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm super ready.
Ready. Old school, horseback.
I know I don't want to wait that long, but what you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do?
It's true, but it's not like we ain't got plenty of stuff to play until it comes out.
Well, now that's a fact as well. That's definitely a factor. All right, so look, I don't. Let's just jump in. We're gonna switch from video games real quick to let's talk movies for a second. We got a Logan trailer. You guys both watched the Logan trailer?
Oh, absolutely.
I watched the Logan trailer.
Did you watch the Red Band trailer?
I didn't
Or
watch the Red Band trailer. I just watched like the initial like Logan trailer when it came out. I watched it like twice.
Yeah, same.
okay, all right. How do we feel?
I feel pretty good.
I don't. Wait.
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, obviously, I don't think we're gonna get the like old man Logan like comic kind of scenario in this. I don't think we're gonna get that, but to me, it seems like this is him, like, gearing up for like the one last ride, the one final ride type of scenario with it. I mean,
Yeah,
of course, it is a teaser, so we got a little bit of it. But I mean, it seems like they're trying to set this up to be the final, at least the last Hugh Jackman Wolverine feel to it. So I don't know, if
yeah,
there's any idea of maybe X-Men going back over to Marvel, they do a reboot or something like that. But it seems like it's setting this truly up to be the final Hugh Jackman Wolverine.
yeah. I would certainly agree with that. Um, I'm thinking, okay. All speculation aside, pretty sure the little girl in the trailer is X-23.
X-23. Fully agree with that.
Right. Yeah.
There are a lot of people who seem to be upset, like I guess at her age, like at how young she is, considering this is old man Logan.
Right.
So I get that, but come on, man, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like who? At this point, if you're doing what is likely to be the very last Wolverine movie, and quite possibly going to be the last one that Hugh Jackman is in at all, even if there's some X-Men movies where they cross some things over or something like that. I mean, how else do you do it? You know what I mean? You got to pass the mantle in some way, and you kind of need people to know that there is that there's
another
another
Wolverine
option
out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you consider where it is in the comic books, they live alongside each other, so to speak. With there being old man Logan and X-23 technically taking up the mantle of Wolverine literally in his old outfit, which
Right.
we never really got to see in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that. I mean, I get that people are a little upset, but what I really want to talk about more than that is how violent this joint is. Violent, and I enjoy it. Like when I get to see Wolverine actually put his fist up to the bottom of someone's chin and run his claws straight up through their brain. Like, yep,
Mm-hmm.
this is what we've been waiting for. Now, I hope they don't overdo it,
Right. Yeah.
because I am a little bit concerned about that. I mean, we've managed to have pretty good Wolverine movies without having to rely on that violence. So I just hope that story-wise, whatever they do in terms of it being an old man Logan story or whatever, that they at least, from a story standpoint, make it like, well, at this point, he's really beyond giving it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and just is kind of going all out. Because I don't want it to feel corny and feel like, oh well, Deadpool was rated R, so we had to make this rated R because it's Wolverine, and Deadpool was rated R, so we had to make this rated R. You know what I mean? Like I
No, I
don't
you.
want that to be the case.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
What do you think, Sin? Where you at?
Trailer did absolutely nothing for me.
Okay.
I was looking forward to Logan, and new X-23 was gonna be in it and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna be old man Logan, but I'm looking at the trailer like, whatever. Like it did absolutely nothing for me. I didn't expect that. Like, of course we're gonna go see it when it comes out, but as it stands right now, maybe I might need to watch trailer number 2 or the international one or something like that. But for right now, I have no qualms or cares whatsoever. It did nothing to get me excited. The Guardians 2 trailer did more to get me excited than this did.
I hear you on that.
Yeah, just I was a little blown because I was looking forward to it, knowing everything leading up to it. Like I was at work and the second it dropped, I was like, "Oh, play right now! Everybody, shut up! Put my phone on busy. I'm about to watch this trailer."
Yeah.
And I watched it like, well, that was a disappointment. Like, all right, back to work.
Yeah.
Like I'm right now. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah. I mean,
It's not doing anything for me.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I like seeing Professor X all extra old and all that. Didn't really do anything for me. I think it basically leaves
Yeah,
more
like
questions
Toy
than
even
answers,
asked,
but
like,
sometimes
who,
that's
like,
what
is
it
that
is.
supposed to be? Like, Toy even asked me when I showed it to her, she's like, is that supposed to be Professor X? I was like, yeah.
What you mean? Is that supposed? Who else could it be? It's
I was about to
Patrick
say,
Stewart.
yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, she knows that. But I guess like from the trailer, like
Because it's so
she
old.
didn't pick up on any of that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's
Like I said, I don't
whack.
know if it's the way the trailer was done, or I got to see another trailer, or whatever. Just that one did
Didn't
absolutely
do it.
nothing.
Hey,
Yeah,
look,
didn't
I
do
ain't
it.
mad at that. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens when the second go round comes round.
Very
I
true.
don't, I don't, I
Very
don't
true.
have high expectations for the movie. I'll be honest about that. But, um, but I'm ready to see Wolverine do his thing again. I just don't want them to overdo it and make it like unnecessarily violent. I guess is what I'm saying.
Overboard with the R rating. Right.
Yeah, So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anything else you guys want to say about that? Let me take a quick break and come back and talk about this Nintendo news.
No,
Sounds like a
I'm
plan.
good with that.
All right. Then let's take a quick break. We'll be right back to talk about the Nintendo Switch. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and it is Nintendo time.
Yes,
the Nintendo, the NX, has officially been named Nintendo's next system. We're gonna say system is going to be called the Nintendo Switch.
Switch.
So Nintendo did actually, you know, they gave us a heads up, like a day or two ahead of time, and said, "Hey, look, Thursday we're gonna put out, some information." And they put out a trailer, and it's a pretty good trailer. I watched it a couple times because I needed to kind of dig into it a little bit and get some information. But it is pretty much what all the rumors said it was. It is basically a console/handheld hybrid. Now, it's not exactly what I think people were thinking, but it fits the bill based on what the rumors have had to say. And so, I mean, I guess, Joker, you want to kind of tell people exactly how this seems to work?
Yeah. So I guess give everybody a little bit of a visual kind of thing. So take the Wii U gamepad. So think of the gamepad where it fits into a cradle, and that cradle would allow you to actually hook it directly to your television instead of having like an actual external console. Now, of course, you can sit there, play your games right on the TV, and the controllers actually, how on the Wii U gamepad, like you have the joysticks on each side and you have some buttons on each side. Imagine being able to just remove those and attaching to like a central block per se to use as a one form of a controller, because there'll be many different ways that you can actually use the controller. Now from that little block, you can of course detach each of the controllers off and use them like you would a regular Wii U controller and nunchuck for certain games, like if you're playing like a Mario Kart or something like that, and each person can hold a piece of that. Now, when you dock the controllers back onto the body of where like the screen is, you can detach that from the base that it sits in, and now it becomes literally a handheld device, just like the Wii U gamepad. Um, and you can, of course, play your games and stuff on there. From at least what they showed, of course, you can take it out your house. You can go around places. You can play it separately. Of course, they didn't mention anything about battery life or anything like that, but they definitely showed the portability of it, being able to say like take it on an airplane, take it to your friends, and being able to play it with them. Um, I think the concept is really good. Now we don't know if it has like a touchscreen or anything like that. They didn't show that in any shape or form if it was going to be touch enabled or anything like that. Um, I could only imagine if it was touch enabled, how much a little bit more power that could take from it. I mean, even though yeah, it's just a touchscreen, and we don't know too much more about it than that. But I mean, I think it's a cool concept though.
I agree. I definitely think it's a cool concept. I think it's good to see it kind of in practice or in use. I mean, I think there's been plenty of speculation and a lot of rumors and like, oh, Nintendo just patented this. Look at this picture, and lots of mock-ups. But I think it's good to see it in action. Sin, what do you think? Where are you on this?
I'm excited for the Switch. I can't wait for it to come out. Like it's perfect for me. Like I have a DS, I have a PlayStation Vita, and for this, like to be able to take my stuff, my main titles, not stuff you just buy on like a handheld, but like my big time. Like they show Skyrim on it. Like be able to take something like Skyrim on the go. Like I'm sitting there chilling, and then hey, we gotta go run some errands. All right, click, you driving. I'm still playing this as I go. Like I think it's perfect. It is exactly like you said what we've seen from all the mock-ups and all that kind of stuff. It's exactly that. But I thought the trailer did a really good job of showing off what it is and what it's kind of capable of. I do agree with you, New Joker. That battery life thing does have me worried because I have a Wii U and I know how much that gamepad drains.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering how much that drains when it's not connected. So I'm excited for it. I'm really, really excited for it. Like, as soon as they tell me pre-order's up, I'm going to get it. Yeah. What about you, B?
I mean, I think it's dope. That's my surface. My surface analysis is that joint's dope. You know what I mean? Because it is. I mean, look, let's just be real. Like, this is something that we've been.
I did not see that coming. That excites me. Okay.
Yeah, this is what we've been waiting for. You know what I mean? Like, I'm that kind of a gamer. Like, I'm a true old school. I've been at it since Atari and before that gamer.
Yes, sir.
And so as things happen and change and become, man, I wish I could play this arcade game at home. Oh, snap, I can play this arcade game at home. Hey, man, what if you could play this game with your body? Oh, snap, Kinect came out. You know what I mean? Like, all of those, oh, man, virtual reality. What about, oh, snap, virtual reality. You know what I mean? Like, as those things kind of come to fruition, this is something that, on the Super Nintendo, it was like, yeah, here's this cartridge you put in. You can take your Game Boy games or your GBA games. You can slide them right in and you can play your Game Boy games on your home console. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And ever since that's been a thing, it's always been, man, I wish I could take these kind of out. This is not something that hasn't been done before. Let's start with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Nintendo's getting a lot of credit, but let's just be real. TurboGrafx did this. The TurboGrafx 16-bit system used slot cards like the Master System had slot cards. They were full 16-bit games, and their handheld system took those same games. You could slide those cards right in, and you could play those games on the go. This is not brand new. This has been done before. However, we never really, truly, in my opinion, got past like 16-bit gaming, maybe 64-bit gaming, as far as being like portable for real. You know what I mean? Like, there's stuff out there. I mean, the Vita's out there. It certainly is powerful, but I mean, this is kind of a big deal. You know what I mean? This is being able to take this. What essentially this is a tablet, right? It is a Tegra 4 chip NVIDIA tablet. So it uses the same chip that like a lot of the gaming tablets out there use. So it's got some power. Let's be real about that. We don't know if it is or if it's going to be as powerful as the Xbox One or as the PlayStation 4, and that might not be necessary. Okay,
I agree.
In this application,
I agree.
I have concerns because that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, like the idea of like, oh yeah, I'm playing Zelda, which they showed a lot of, right? I'm playing Zelda. I'm at home. The dog needs to go for a walk. I don't have no dogs. I'm not getting no dogs. I'm just saying that's what's in the trailer, right? The dog needs to go for a walk. So let me take the controllers and slide them onto the screen and pick the screen up and take it out of the dock, right? And the dock stays connected to your TV. Now the dock is how you charge, not just the screen that you can walk around that's portable, but it's also how you charge those controllers that slide off the side. There is a Pro controller for it that looks like an Xbox One controller, really.
Right, looks like the last Wii U one, just with some alterations to it, right?
Yeah, so there is that, and you can play with that instead of having to play with the with the wireless controllers. Again, those have to get power from somewhere, right? They show this doing things like they show these guys out playing basketball, and then they get done playing basketball, and one guy, the screen has a kickstand on it, headphone jack on the top. System does take cartridges, which explains how you're going to be able to take these games on the go, right? But also does beg the question, like, okay, so how big are these cartridges? How much power can you really have in them? What is it going to take for third-party developers to actually put stuff on cartridges, so to speak? They're not the same size as GBA or 3DS cartridges, so it's not something that's going to be interchangeable that I can tell. I don't see anywhere for there to be a memory card slot, but we know it's going to have 32 gigs of internal memory, right? So, okay.
All right.
You got your games, you can take it on the go. I don't see how you could connect to the internet, but maybe it'll have Wi-Fi, right? But Wi-Fi just means there's more battery drain, right? So my biggest concern about this as a whole is the battery life. That's first and foremost. My second concern is just with Nintendo being Nintendo and whether or not this is going to have any true kind of online connectivity and what that's going to look like, right? Because that's a thing for me. Personally, while I think the concept is dope, I mean, as a handheld, this doesn't really appeal to me because I'm beyond handhelds. Like I don't ride anywhere. I drive everywhere I go, and I can't even sit in my house and play, games on a handheld in front of the TV. Like that's just like I would much rather be playing on my TV. That's why it's there. That's why I have home consoles, because I want to play on the TV. So, in the rare situation where somebody might be like, oh, such and such is on TV and I'm in the middle of playing a game or something, which you could kind of do with the Wii U anyway, well, I'll just undock it and I'll play it on here. You know what I mean? And you can go ahead and watch TV or something like that. Like this, technically, the portability of it does not really appeal to me. There's no reason for me to ever use it. I just don't need it. Like, I can see that maybe I might take a trip, jump on a plane, maybe I'll be on a train or something like that, and I'm going somewhere, whatever. But like, for the most part, like if I'm going on a trip, I take my consoles with me anyway. Like I take my Xbox with me when I go, might take my PlayStation with me when I go. I'm not just going to take this portable system, because that's the other thing for me is there a way to charge just the screen by itself without the dock?
Right.
So that's
I'm
the other
pretty sure
thing,
it is.
right?
It was with the Wii U.
So how are you gonna charge that? How much is it gonna cost for that? That kind of thing. I like the fact that it's like, oh yeah, there's two controllers here. You take one, let's turn it sideways, let's play Mario Kart. They did show Mario Kart. Look like Double Dash. It's not Double Dash though. At least it's not the original version of Double Dash, because there's some different stuff going on there. Show the new Mario game. I'm excited about that. Why? Because it didn't look like new 3D Mario. It looked like Mario Sunshine, or it looked like Mario 64.
Mario. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Show some new Splatoon. Right? Because that stage isn't a stage that's available in Splatoon. So, I mean, they showed new Nintendo product. But they also showed these guys at the basketball court taking two systems and setting them up back to back and then playing what looks like against each other.
In 2K.
2-on-2 playing NBA 2K, right? Then again, like you guys mentioned Skyrim. They showed in a couple of different shots. Guys playing Skyrim. Guy jumps on the plane, sets his little joint up with the kickstand out, puts his headphones on, and he's playing Skyrim next to the guy that's sleeping on on the plane. That's cool. Like I'm a tech dude. Like that's cool. Like I like it. I'm concerned about battery life. That's my number one. But again, the other thing about it is it makes me wonder. They have said this is not, quote unquote, a replacement for the 3DS. The 3DS will still continue to exist. But I just want to say on top of that every time Nintendo has put out a new handheld system, they have always said this is not a replacement for the current system. Like Game Boy, when DS came out, they said the Game Boy is still going to continue to exist. That was basically a lie. I mean, that's almost one of those things where it's like they're saying it just in case this doesn't take off and we have to keep doing Game Boy. You know what I mean? So the question is this something that will end up replacing the game, the DS, in terms of, hey, because the DS does do things you can't do. It has two screens. You got the touchscreen. We don't know if this has a touchscreen at all, right? And there are certain experiences that are geared specifically towards the 3DS. And unless this system has things that are specific to it that might make it worth being the system you own. Unless this is your only console, there's really no reason to buy this unless you just gotta have Nintendo's games. So there might be some good reasons to purchase it up front with release software, kind of like the Wii U was. There was some great stuff. The Lego City joint, you know what I mean? Like, they tried stuff, Zombie U. There were things that they put on this system that it was kind of like, you really can't do this anywhere else. We're trying to show you why it's important to have this screen. If they don't do that, if there isn't that thing, like if you're just going to tell me, oh yeah, Skyrim Special Edition is going to be available on this. If it's the same Skyrim, I mean, Skyrim's getting ready to come out now. So in 5 months when this is supposed to drop in March, Skyrim will be old. Why would you want that unless it is Skyrim, you just got to have it portable. Like, I need to be able to take this with me and play it. But if it's not as powerful as the other systems, like, why would you want that, so to speak? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not necessarily a selling point to me. Because I don't need to play Skyrim on the go. I'm only going to play it at the house. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
I'm not. So, while I think it's really dope, I think there's a lot to be seen. I think, they showed a lot of third-party support. The Wii U had a lot of third-party support, and it just kind of fell off. So, the thing is, can they make this something? The thing that probably stood out the most to me about the entire trailer was the fact that there were no kids in that trailer at all.
Not at all.
It's all adults. It's all like 18 to like 30-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like, the guy they start out showing, he looks like he's probably in his late to mid-20s. And he, stops playing Zelda to go walk his dog. Then you see another guy who's walking to an airport, and he sits down and he plays, and he gets on the airplane and he plays. And you see like the lady in her house, and some people yell at her from across the street or something. Hey, come over to our rooftop party and, whatever. And she brings, her game over there. And you see the guys out late at night playing basketball. You know what I mean? Like, there's no kids. So that tells me that Nintendo is going, okay, we need to do something that is for the older crowd who actually are earning money and making purchasing decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit concerned about price. I mean, I'd like to see it come in around $300, $250, something like that. But it's hard to say how possible that is with the expense that chip puts in. I mean, because basically the entire system is housed inside of that tablet.
Right.
That's where all the power is. The part that's connected to your home console is literally just a dock to charge it and to output the video signal, video and audio. So, I mean, again, that it kind of remains to be seen what we're going to be looking at price point. But it also could be one of those things where they're like, well, technically, this is your home console and it replaces your portable. So, $450.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a price point that would make you guys just be like, nope, not doing that?
I think for me, anything over $350 will probably put me in that bucket.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at that point, I'd rather get like say an Xbox One S, or at next year's time, do I just hold on to that towards the Scorpio? Right. Now, granted, with the little bit of time that we have in between it, could there be some other nifty things that they announce about it to kind of back that price point up when they announce it? Absolutely. Yeah. But as of now, though, I don't see myself paying more than $350 for this.
Okay. What about you, Sam?
I'm not gonna pay more for it than I paid for my other two consoles.
I hear that.
So
I hear that.
So if it's costing
so 500,
more than my
500 is the threshold for you.
I
mean that's what you paid for the Xbox One, so 500 would be the most. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't pay no 500 for the Xbox One.
What you talking about, dog?
How'd I pay $500 for Xbox One? I mean, if I did, I did. Just remind me.
You paid $500. The Xbox One was $499 when it dropped.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Did you get the day one edition, or did you get the?
I got the day one.
You got a day one.
You paid.
That was $500.
It wasn't $500, dog.
Yes, it was, bro. What's wrong with you?
No, y'all lying. That's what it is. Y'all lying.
Okay. Okay. You keep telling yourself that.
Oh, I am. I'm looking it up right now.
So you know what? I'll tell you what. Another thing. This is what
Okay.
this is what would probably make me really like sit up and take notice and say, okay, this is something I want to do. Is if there's a way to not have to deal with cartridges and I can just do everything,
Digitally.
digital. If I can buy games digitally, again, it only has 32 gigabytes of memory on it, which is not a lot, in this day and age. One game can be that. I mean, shoot, they showed NBA 2K running on it, and 2K 3 years ago was like 45 gigs. You know what I'm saying? If you downloaded it. So, I mean, let's just be honest. I don't know that that's, but also it's important to know that even though they showed third party games like Skyrim and 2K in the trailer, all of the people who had games in that trailer said that none of those games are actually games for the system. That they did work with Nintendo on the trailer, but that those games are not confirmed to be coming out for the system. They're just showing that they are, in fact, going to support the system. But that doesn't mean Skyrim's coming. And it doesn't mean that 2K is coming. So that still kind of remains, that's up in the air to an extent. But I need to know if there's a way to do external storage.
It has to be.
You know what I mean?
If anything, like a micro SD card slide. I mean, there's not that much room on it to have like a USB port or something like that. But I mean,
again, if there is no digital, right? Other than maybe, because again, like you can download digital games from the Nintendo store. You can do GBA games and old NES games. So there's storage for stuff like that. But outside of that, maybe their intention is for it to be like, no, these cartridges and that's it. So again, that just kind of is up in the air. That remains to be seen. Obviously, the question of whether or not there's a touchscreen, because if there is a touchscreen, then that's certainly something else that would drain battery. But I don't think it needs a touchscreen. I don't think it needs one at all. I do wonder whether or not it will play their mobile game. So we got the Mario Runner that's coming out in December. Will that game make an appearance on this system when it drops in March? Could be. And again, it kind of remains to be seen. Like, I don't think that this system is geared to necessarily do battle with the Xbox and the PlayStation.
I don't think so either. I think it's more of a choice kind of thing. Like, what type of gaming do you more or less do? Like, if you do have someone that likes to play on the go, like they're moving around a lot and they like to have that handheld kind of thing, but likes to play games when they get home, probably would appeal to someone like that. Because the only thing to me that really sucks is, like, we know this is the successor, is like everything that you pretty much had for your Wii U or your original Wii is just absolutely just out the window now, completely.
Well, I mean, I think that that's part of the point as far as this is concerned. Like, I mean, okay, motion control gaming, I understand why it was a big deal and why it worked and all that kind of stuff. Again, they're not looking to go after the same audience with this because you can tell by the trailer, like who's in the trailer. That does make me feel like, though, this is geared more towards people who would own an Xbox or a PlayStation. When you look at the demographic that they shot for in the trailer. But at the same time, again, there are certain experiences that you can only get from like a 3DS. There are games that come out there. Does this mean that we'll get Pokemon technically for a home console instead of only getting it on, a handheld, quote unquote, because this system technically is a handheld?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So does the next, whatever comes after Sun and Moon, does that also, do we get a Pokemon that is for this home console, but that, I don't know,
you can take
makes use of what this can do? So, I mean, because you got to think about it. There is the possibility, right? When you think about, like, the 3DS has Street Pass, right? So if this has, like, Street Pass built into it or something like that, if there are things that, obviously you do when you're sitting at home and you have it docked and, whatever, but taking it out on the go allows you to do something else. Or, passing people allows you to get some kind of a bonus or get cards or collect something or, just whatever it is by actually taking it out on the street with you. Again, because by comparison, that's a big screen. Like, it's not like this is small. it isn't like a Game Boy where you can put it in your pocket. Don't get me wrong. The XL is big. It's big.
Mm-hmm.
But it also folds up. You know what I mean? And this doesn't fold up. This isn't something that's like designed for you to like, how do you, almost anything else that Nintendo has sold that's been like this, even down to like Wii remotes, has had some kind of a protective cover that you could get for it. How do you do that when you need to be able to slide the controllers on and off of the side of this? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying, how do you do that? So I just think that there's a lot that remains to be seen with this. Am I excited for it? Yep. Will I take it on the go? Probably, just because I can. You know what I mean? But I don't think I'll ever use it. Like, I won't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I'll do with it. It does depend on what the price is like. And sure, I'd love to be able to take, the next Zelda game on the go with me. And, maybe play some 2-player or some co-op or something like that. But I'm also comfortable being able to just be like, hey, let's jump online and play such and such. You know what I mean? And how easy is that going to be? Like, I still think that there's a lot that Nintendo needs to do to kind of meet today's standards, as far as that kind of stuff is concerned. And so, it was more or less a teaser. Like, they said we're not going to get any more information until next year. But that leaves a very limited amount of time in terms of what information we get and when, because if it's coming out in March, that only leaves us January and February to really get some good information before this comes out. Mm-hmm. So, right. I think there's a lot of potential here. I'm excited about it, and I'm very, very, very intrigued and interested in what's going on with it. And I can't wait to see what else they're going to do with it.
I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, I'm not.
Especially that portability aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like, I know I got me and the wife, we do our vacations and trips. She loves to travel, so this is perfect. Like, right up my alley for me to be able to take console games and leave the house with them. Stuff that I would sit on the couch and play on the big screen and still get my trophies, achievements, whatever, game progress. You know what I'm saying? While I'm
right, assuming that they have something like that, yeah.
Well, even if they don't, just progress throughout the game. Like, damn, I was working to try to beat this joint, but now I'm about to leave. Oh, take it with me. Right. I'm good. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, perfect. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And again, assuming that the battery life makes it so that, you just came back from Japan. Hey. You ain't taking this joint to Japan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not without the dock. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like you still take the dock with you anyway. So,
no, I feel you. But one thing I learned on the plane, on long flights like that, in the seat ahead of you, you can plug a USB port into it to charge up your mobile devices.
Yeah, I know.
So as long as they have something like that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing that I'm saying. Like, man, they need to make sure that there's a way to charge just the screen when you don't have it docked. Like, that's going to be so important. And it'll probably be something proprietary. But look, I mean, people take their Wii U's on planes and play them there because you can play on the screen. So I think that's cool. Like, trust me, I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm just saying that, like, if you're going to take it on a long trip, unless you're going to end up taking the whole dock and stuff with you anyway, it almost defeats the purpose.
No, it's got to be another plug-up option, yeah. Because the Wii U had the docking joint, but you could plug it straight into the tablet itself.
Right.
And still play. Yeah, so it just needs something like that.
Right. Yeah. And, again, hopefully the battery life makes it worth it.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Do you guys think we'll see Grand Theft? Oh, I'm sorry, Red Dead Redemption 2 on this?
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I think that would give...
It would surprise me.
I mean, who knows? Like, we know they're working with different third parties, and because of, like, say, where they're trying to aim, like, the group that they want to actually purchase this, I think that would be a nice addition to have on the console. And maybe because of the motion controllers and things like that, it would give you a little bit of a different experience than you would normally have, like, say, on the Xbox and PlayStation, which I think would be kind of cool.
Well, we don't know if it has motion controls.
Just an
like that's idea. Like they didn't show any touch controls, and they never show you using like motion. Like they show you using the little, the controllers. And I think it's interesting to point out that like they're called Joy-Cons, and the part of the controller that slides down on the left side has the analog stick at the top. The right side has an analog stick and has like your regular A, B, X, Y buttons. But underneath of the analog stick on the left side, instead of having a D-pad, there's no D-pad on the piece that connects to the actual tablet. It actually has like the C buttons, the camera buttons, the up, down, left, right from the N64. But there is a D-pad on the Pro controller. But there isn't one on the main pad. But it just makes it so you can share that with somebody and turn it sideways and use the joystick and, what have you. Yeah. But again, they don't actually show any motion control gaming on this at all. So we don't know if that's a way you can use it, which is interesting because they've been showing the new Zelda. They showed them playing the Zelda on this. And with what they showed at Zelda at E3 running on the Wii U, motion was part of how you controlled it. Like you used like the accelerometer and stuff like that that's in the controller there to use it. We don't know if this has that or not. So it could play completely differently on this, or it might just play traditionally, on this versus the way it plays on the Wii U. So again, there's still a lot of questions, you know what I mean, that are up there. But if we get a Red Dead and you could take all right, let me put it to you this way. Let's say Red Dead Redemption 2 is available on the Nintendo Switch and you own all 3 consoles. Do you buy it for the Switch because it means you can take it with you?
Depends on the multiplayer. That's it.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's my question. Because, but the multiplayer is not any good to you unless, like, if you want to play with us and we don't have it on the Switch because we're not going anywhere.
No, I'm saying, exactly. It depends on how involved that we are going to be in multiplayer, whether I get it on like the Xbox or the PS4 or the Switch.
Right.
I would get on the Switch.
Would graphics or power be a factor for you in that case, you think, at all?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
A lot of times it's so like looking at it, you can barely tell the difference when you're actually playing it as far as graphics and power. Like a lot of times it's not that big of a difference between them.
Well, again, we don't know what it's really going to look like yet. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't seen that. I'm pretty sure all those screens are simulated, and we know for a fact that whatever we saw of Skyrim and, like, NBA 2K, that those were, like, not real games, so to speak. So, again, that's kind of the thing. Like, if they make it so that games that are available on the Xbox and on the PlayStation 4 are also available on this, and it's not something that's different, and you already own one or both of those consoles, even if you get this console, if it's not a Nintendo game that you can only play on Nintendo, if it's something that's available on all 3 systems, would the portability factor be enough to make you say, you know what? I'm getting this joint for the Nintendo so I can take it with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if it is, then that means that they are trying to play in their arena and they are actually competing with those systems. That's the way I see it. Maybe they hit another market that's more like mobile or something like that. But yeah, that means that they're competing with those systems. So
the take it on the go aspect is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Depending on the game and depending like just on the multiplayer aspect. Like I said, if I'm playing with y'all, then yes, I'm getting on the home console. But if not, depending on what game it is, then taking it on the go, running with me, plays a huge factor into it.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Red Dead is going to have some like social aspects embedded into like the main story, kind of like how you have with like Watch Dogs 2. But like, yeah, you're playing or whatever, but somebody can kind of jump in and do something with you, and that might be with those other characters that like 7 people or whatever, something like that are. I have a feeling there'll be something like that where they kind of integrate it into the main thing. And so I again, I'm just throwing stuff out there because, I advocate the devil sometimes. But yeah, I mean, look, I am looking forward to Nintendo offering and giving experiences out for their system that you just can't get anywhere else. It's the reason why I picked up an Xbox. Their exclusives were games you couldn't get anywhere else. Sony has no exclusives that, really made it worth buying a system to me until relatively recently. And so I feel like the Nintendo is the same way. Like, if you love Donkey Kong, if you love Mario, if you love Splatoon, those are, if you love Zelda, You're not gonna play them anywhere else. You can't.
Can't.
So you gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta get their system. So I mean, I think there's a lot that's kind of on the line, and I think maybe in terms of whether or not the 3DS continues to exist will have a lot to do with how well this does. And whether or not third parties stay on board is going to have a lot to do with how well this does. So, and I think price point is going to play deep into that. So,
oh yeah, definitely.
But again, I'm behind it. You know what I mean? I've gotten used to not having to carry all that stuff with me. All my stuff's on a hard drive. You know, I go and wherever I'm going and I hook everything up and I just plug the hard drive in and I go. The idea of toting around cartridges is not appealing to me, but people do it all the time, every day, on the train and on the bus and on, you know, whatever, so that they can play their games. You know, I mean, Vita's cool,
like me.
But
my Vita stays with me in my bag.
But it's digital.
It's always there,
right? I mean, you have digital titles for your Vita.
I have one digital title. Well, I have a couple because they're free, but no, I got my physical ones with me too, everywhere I go.
Yeah. See, I can't. I mean, I could. If it's worth it, I'll do it. That's really what it comes down to. You know what I mean?
Well, I have a case that carries everything in one thing. So,
I mean, I get
it's all in one unit. But yeah, it's always with me wherever I go.
Yeah, that's a lot because now that means you'll have 2 or 3 things with you everywhere you go.
I don't know, because if this one comes out and does what it's supposed to be, obviously I'm playing that over this one. So.
You shutting the Vita down, yeah. Could this
possibly
put the final nail in the Vita's coffin?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It all depends on the library. All depends on the library.
I mean, I definitely think that's the case. I mean, the library for the Vita is strong, but
it is. But they don't push it. They don't push it over here in North America.
Well, they don't push it over here like that. That's a fact. There's no. Yeah, that's a fact.
So they push it over in Japan all day long, but if Nintendo was pushing that and taking it with you and all that kind of stuff, then it'll be the final nail in this coffin. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think especially if they can say, look, yes, it is both. It is a hybrid. And when we say hybrid, it's not just the consoles are hybrid, but the games are hybrid too, because when you're out and about, you can do things on it that you couldn't do otherwise. Like, they don't show it, but maybe there's a camera on it that would let you do some AR stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Maybe you can do Pokemon Go from it. You know what I mean? Or whatever. I'm just saying, like, we don't know everything yet. But just based on what's there, I have a lot more questions than answers, but I'm excited. I know it sounds like I'm being a downer. I got to play devil's advocate, but I'm excited about it. Like, I'm ready to... This is the thing. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I got to get one of these joints. And I was like, oh, but the battery life might be garbage. I better wait. You know what I mean? Like, I need to wait. Like, I'm not going to pre-order one. I can tell you that now. All right, I might pre-order.
I will pre-order. So I'm definitely gonna pre-order one
because
mine's pre-order.
I'm afraid of it doing what the Wii did and not being able to get it. If I decide I want it, you know what I'm saying? So I probably would pre-order it, but I'm not sold on a pre-order yet. I'll tell you that. I'm not sold enough to pre-order it yet. Again, I still have questions that need to be answered, and so one of those questions is absolutely going to be about the battery life, and if they come to play with a couple Nintendo Directs or whatever, and they don't address battery life, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it until it's out in the wild and I get some true tests so I know what it is that I'm getting into. Because even though, more than likely, I will never take it out on the go, my kids might. All right, my youngest might. So, you know, I would like to have something that, they can take this and they can hook it up or whatever. I will tell you this. If one of them loses either side of that controller for that Joy-Con, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
A serious problem. This is the other thing I noticed. If you look at that trailer, there's a part where, like, because there's that second piece you were talking about, New Joker, that you can slide the pieces onto once you dock the main controller. If you don't have the Pro Controller, there's like this other piece you dock the size of the controller to that kind of make it like the Pro Controller without a D-pad. When you look at that, it shows on the left side and the right side, there are like 4 lights that are on either side. Now, I don't know if those little 4 green lights are to say, hey, this is player 1, this is player 2. I don't know if they're to say, hey, this is charging. You know what I mean? Because maybe that little thing charges those Joy-Cons up too. Something like that. I don't know what that is. But it would be interesting to me because those little square lights match the color of the lights that are... match the design of the lights that are on like the Wii remotes. That, you know, there's 4 little lights that are on there that tell you if you're first, second, third, or fourth player.
Mhm.
So that says to me, it looks like you might at least be able to run some things for players on it and probably get extras of those Joy-Cons like a Wii Remote and a Nunchuck.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree on that.
Okay.
Could be cool. Still, I'm going to be mad if they lose one.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
going to be very mad.
Yeah, who knows
Very
how much
mad.
it's going to cost if you have to replace them things.
Exactly. I mean, look, Nintendo is really good at doing peripherals and having people purchase their peripherals. They do a really good job of selling consoles that are at a lower price and having a very high attach rate. So all it will take is for them to have the right game that comes with a set of those, like they did with like Wii Play, which was like, you know, that game was garbage, but it had that extra controller in it, and the controller, and it was $50. You know what I mean? Like the price was right. So they sold tons of those things. So I mean, again, it's just one of those things where there's a lot that still kind of remains to be seen. As a whole, as a fan, I'm excited. It's what I wanted. It's what I've been waiting for. I just don't need it, like in terms of the portability. So it's really just like, okay, they have another console and there's going to be a Zelda on it. And I hope that it comes out right away. You know what I mean? And that will probably do it. Anything else you guys want to hit on before we wrap the show up?
Think we're good to go?
Nah, I think we're good.
Nah, pretty good. I will say that the DC Superhero Girls, their like actual show has kind of moved from YouTube, and now they have the show on Cartoon Network. They had a like an hour and a half like movie that came out the other day. It was pretty good. I mean, not for us, but it was pretty good. So I'll just say that. Worth looking into,
Okay.
but not built for us, so to speak. But it was enjoyable nonetheless.
Understood.
Anyway, we got hordes to kill, swarms to kill, buzz kills to shoot,
Sounds like a
things
plan.
of that nature.
Got until about 8:50 to do so.
Oh yeah, Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I ain't worried about it. I know y'all are.
Okay. Yeah, that means I'm on hiatus after the
Yeah, hide, bruh, because they gonna spoil it for you.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah,
I
which
ain't
means I won't be
gonna
on
spoil
Facebook,
it. But just know I'm
Twitter,
probably gonna be cussing out
Instagram.
social media for the rest of the night. But I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
you
spoil
better
it.
block
though.
It's cool. I'm just going on hiatus now until the show's over.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good luck
Real
with that.
talk.
Just staying away-
I wish you best
Hey,
of
trust-
luck with that.
Trust me, it's good. I'll stay away.
Yeah,
from
he's
social
pretty
media
good at
until
stuff
it's
like
time.
that. He's pretty good at
Yeah.
ducking that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
you know,
I'm gonna be extra good now because I know it's a huge spoiler. I'm just not even going on it.
yeah, you already know it's going down.
Yeah, just staying away from it.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm just gonna tell you now. Just go on your Facebook and all that, and just say, "Hey, listen, don't tag me in anything. Don't put it on my timeline. Don't whatever. Just tell people. Just tell straight up, like, hey, I'm not watching. Please don't ruin this for me, and just see. And then listen.
Otherwise, you will
the
get
first
blocked.
person, listen, real talk. Do that, and in that way, the first person who does something like that, we can call them out on the show.
Boom.
And you know what?
We can
might
ruin
do
whatever the
that.
next thing is. They don't want spoiled for them. Like we can make sure.
You know what? But
You
you know
know
the funny
what?
part is, you know who is probably actually going to be the one to spoil it?
Coop.
Coop.
No,
Probably gonna be
not.
Coop.
I told Coop shut up the other week.
I know.
Like,
Might be
I don't
K.
care who you think is about that. Don't do it.
Might be
Just
K.
Be quiet.
Because K is really the only one who, like, whenever we get together every week to film the show, he's like, oh man, I gotta talk about it. Da, da, da. Like, yo, nah, don't do it yet. And then he'll still do it and try to do it like clandestinely in front of you. And it's like, dog, stop. And he'd be like, yo, but did you see when hey dog,
Like, stop it.
but he can't help himself. He does it every time. But I need to talk about it. Like, he gets so antsy. It's hilarious.
I
It's
guess
so
we're
it's
gonna have to. I'll give him
hilarious.
a vent session. I'm gonna watch it, so I'm just gonna have to have him do a vent session so he don't do it.
Yeah, right. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Y'all had
with that, ladies
I'm
and
all
gentlemen, I
off.
think we're going to wrap the show up. I hope everybody who is going to watch The Walking Dead enjoys The Walking Dead when they find out
can't
who
wait.
Negan destroyed. Definitely hit us up in the comments, shoot us emails, let us know what you think about the Nintendo Switch. What do you guys think about the name, the Nintendo Switch? I like it way better than Wii.
Agree.
I feel good about that name. And tell us what you thought about the Red Dead trailer, the Logan trailer, the Guardians trailer. Like, we had an action-packed week this week.
We really
So by all
did.
means, make sure you hit us up, loadingsnacks@gmail.com. Feel free to hit us up on Instagram or on Twitter @loadingsnacks. if you want to get a hold of me, I am Empty Shells, MTSHELLZ, on Twitter and on Instagram. Also on Xbox Live and PlayStation. Just space between the M and the T and the S. I think that's it. I think I covered everything. You can email me directly if you really must.
I think it is.
Gage, GAGE.loadingsnacks@gmail.com. Gentlemen?
Yes. Y'all know where y'all can hit me at.
They don't know. They don't know. Tell them.
They don't know yet?
They don't know.
If you don't know by now, you can hit me at send.loadingsnacks@gmail.com.
True.
If you want to email me.
True.
You want to catch me online someplace, you can hit me at Sincere619 on Xbox Live, on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to catch me on Snapchat or the PlayStation Network, you can hit me at the same thing, just replace that I with an L, and you will find me there. New Joker, What about you?
So for me, if you want to shoot me an email, that's newjoker.loadingsnacks@gmail.com. If you want to game with me or get at me on Twitter and Instagram, newjoker89 on there. And if you want to get at me on Facebook, you can find me at New Joker's Adventures.
Cool. So a couple things just to clean up before we get out of here. One, we have the Extra Life charity event coming up on November 5th. So 24 hours of streaming from 8 a.m. on November 5th until 8 a.m. on November 6th. We will certainly be participating in that. Our site is live. If you go to extralife.org, which there's a dash in between extra and life.org. Otherwise, you get something else. But if you go to extralife.org/team/loading snacks, you can donate to us there. You can even join our team if you would like to help us get donations. We are playing for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. We have all kind of chosen our own hospitals. I know I'm playing specifically for Johns Hopkins. I think Coop and Kay are playing for Children's Hospital in D.C. I think the two of you are also playing for Johns Hopkins, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a great charity that allows kids who are sick or injured or whatever to be taken care of, even if they don't have the funds in order to do so. And it's just a really great cause. The second thing is, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We did start selling shirts last month where all proceeds went to Susan G. Komen of Maryland for the shirts that we sold. After it ended and we got our shirts and started to wear our shirts, a lot of people are asking now if they can still get shirts. So I relaunched that campaign. So if you go to our Facebook page, you can find it. You can go to booster.com and you can search Loading Snacks and you can find our breast cancer. It's Loading Snacks versus breast cancer is what it is. And it's a pink shirt, obviously, for breast cancer awareness. And though you probably won't get your shirt in time for this month, certainly know that when you get that shirt, that those funds are going to a great cause to help fund cancer research and so forth, which is super important to us. I do want to thank everybody who has donated to us in everything that we put together. It does really make us feel good to be doing something that's positive for the community. I do definitely want to thank those of you who have taken the time to give back. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. With that said, I think that's it, gentlemen. We are out. Toodles and lose.